Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Passionately Speaking. This is our weekly public speaking masterclass where we pull back the curtains and we talk about advanced public speaking techniques, skills, tricks, hacks, and tips. And today I have another good one for you, just like Steve Harvey would say. I don't know how many of you watch Family Feud. Anybody still watch? I watch it every single day. I just love it while I'm cooking. I turn it on and I just love it. And he always comes out not only with a great looking suit, but he always says, and we got another good one for you today. So do I. And that is how to strengthen your speaking muscle. How to strengthen your speaking muscle. You see, when we work out, we strengthen our physical muscles all of the time. And if we stop working out, it's about 2 weeks before that muscle starts to turn into mush, right? Oh, Corey's nodding his head. But muscles have memory, so that's a good thing. And so does our speaking muscle. So I'm going to teach you tonight how to strengthen the speaking muscle. And yes, the throat and the voice is one of the muscles. But when I talk about the muscle, I'm talking about the message and everything that goes along with it. So it's a lot more than just the voice. So let's get started. I did prepare a PowerPoint for you today, so I am going to share my screen. I have it all ready to rock and roll for you. All right. Everybody can see my PowerPoint? Yes, thumbs up. All right, great. All right, so how to strengthen your speaking muscle. All righty, let me okay. All right, so when we work out in a gym, we strengthen our muscles, right? We strengthen our muscles. So I'm going to use muscle as my acronym today. And as I was teaching the class this weekend, and there's a lot of things, of course, that I taught this weekend that, I'm not going to be teaching here, but there are some highlights that I want to share. And one of them is about acronyms. Because I talk about acronyms all the time. If you know me, you know I love what? Acronyms, right. So anytime I say, if you know what I love, you're going to say?
Acronyms.
Acronyms, absolutely. And so before I started using them years and years ago, I've never known anybody that used them, much less taught you how to really use them. And so I go into detail in my class on how to use them. And I'm going to share, one of the things I share, of course, is that you don't have to go from top down. Just because I said it's muscle, I don't have to start with the M. I can start with M if I want to, but I could start with the E, or I can just mix them up. Now, where did I learn that? Well, I learned it on the front line because one day I was speaking at an event and I spelled out the word awaken, and it didn't make sense for it to go top down or bottom up. So I just said, you know what? I am just going to mix it up and do the order that I want to do it in, which is perfectly okay as long as you let your audience know what number you're on, what letter you're on. You have to be very, very clear, what I call crystal clear. You have to be what clear?
Crystal.
Right on. You have to be crystal clear. So I'm going to be crystal clear right now and say we are starting from the bottom up. So we are starting with the E. So make sure that you write muscle on your paper. And again, we're going to go from the bottom to the top. So starting at the bottom, when we work out on stage, we strengthen what muscle? Well, the first muscle you're going to think about, which you probably already did, is your voice muscle. This is your instrument. and you have to make sure that you take care of it. I mean, our whole body when we speak is our instrument, and we better be taking care of our body. But well, at least half of it now that we're in Zoom, from the waist up, that's all, forget about if you got Zoom butt, like I do, it doesn't matter anymore. So we're going to talk about the voice real quick, and I'm going to give you a couple of exercises. And if you look in the archives, you'll see these exercises there as well. But I'm just going to give you a few to strengthen that voice. So one of them is facial exercises. And I just did this in the class and it was so much fun. I thought, well, we should do that here. So let's do some facial exercises together. Okay. So everybody looks surprised, right? Wait, we got to take a picture of that. All right. What? Hey, CJ, can you do a screen print or something for me? All right, so, okay. Hey, Ruben, you got to participate. Clemmy, Marcia, come on in. Oh, look at Benita's all over this game, right? Because she does this with her puppets all the time, right? Surprise and all kinds of great stuff. So good job being here. All right, so everybody looks surprised, and then CJ's going to take a picture. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Did you get it, CJ? Okay, good. All right. So sometimes when we're speaking, we've got to exercise the face, or the face could droop. So doing those kind of exercises are good. So exaggerate as much as you can, but also, what happened? Oh, that's our straw. CJ, you're a doll. All right. Is there any way you can? That cracks me up. Thank you, CJ. Can you put the file in the chat and actually let everybody have a copy of that? Well, and there's the gorgeous Angelique. Hello. She's looking like a model today, just kind of hanging out in her limousine or whatever. Good to see you. All right. So not only does it exercise the face when we do it, but sometimes when we're in, of course, our speech, we are going to do a lot of storytelling. So when we do storytelling, we want to exaggerate the look. Oh, he looks surprised, right? Oh, that was more of a frightened look, right? So we want to practice that so that you're ready for your storytelling faces. So another one, so let's look angry. Angry, mad, really mad. Corey, that doesn't look mad. You look happy. You look happy. Mad, right? I can't even do mad, but I know if I'm mad, I'm mad, right? We know if everybody's mad because it's on our faces. All right, here's a good one for everybody. Happy, right? I mean, like, you're so happy, right? Now, Alice has a beautiful smile. Do your regular, like your big smile. Yeah, big smile. She's beautiful smile. What was that, Angelique? Was that a smile? That was a surprise. Was that happy? Okay, good. Well, we all have our own versions of happy. All right, so let's do one more, and let's scrunch up like a prune. Right? Prune. Corey's not playing, but he's sure enjoying it, right? Okay, that's good, Angela. Yeah, prunes. Good. So you're lucky CJ didn't take the picture of the prune face. So we just want to practice. So anything you can think of, happy, sad, whatever that you might be using, or curious, practice. Always practice, because your face is attached to your words, and your face needs to be congruent. It needs to be saying the same thing. So you don't want to be like happy when you're talking about something very sad, right? It just doesn't make sense. We're like, are you making fun of it? I mean, what's going on? So make sure your face is saying the same thing that your voice is saying. Hello, Jason, you missed all the funny faces. All right, welcome. All right, so the next one, let me go back to sharing my screen. Y'all did a great job. So good job for that. And the other one is tongue exercises. Tongue exercises. You see, our tongue is what really makes the words, it pronounces, it enunciates, it does all the vocal variety, it's all of that. So the tongue is a muscle, and we need to make sure that it obeys us. And when we get tired, I find this all the time when I speak too much, like I did 2 podcasts today, and so on and so on. And so my jaws are kind of tired right around now. So, so sometimes when we're tired, our tongue gets in the way. Anybody notice that? Sometimes when you're talking, it gets in the way. So a great way to let it last longer is to do some of these exercises. Now, if you're not comfortable with all of us looking at it, and remember this is recorded, you don't have to do them. But in my classes, we do them, and we have a lot of fun doing them. So a lot of times we'll just do some ones that aren't so weird. But when you roll your tongue, like how many of you can like roll your tongue? That's hereditary, Mm-hmm. Almost everybody. Some people can't do it. All right. Can you do that, Luana? No. See, Luana can't do it. It is hereditary. But if you can do it, that. Well, hello, Dr. Love. How are you, honey? Good to see you. That's not her name, but I just call her that. That's Dr. Renee. Dr. Renee Gordon is her formal name. So, but like there's other ones, like you can move them side to side. Of course, I have to make a noise. Up and down in all kinds of ways. So you want to just move your tongue in your mouth, all kinds of different ways. You could try to touch your nose. Can anybody touch your nose with your tongue? Yeah, you better not, or you're a half lizard. Okay. All right. But I want you to think about moving your tongue around your mouth, moving it in circles, and doing all kinds of crazy things with your mouth. Now, one of the things you can do, and some of you could do it really easy too, and that's rolling your R's. Like, I can't even do it. Right? Rolling your R's. Anybody? There you go. Right?
This sounds sort of sexy, Arvee. What did I get into here?
There you go.
Arvee.
Maybe use some of it in your training, in your love training. Okay, but just the point being,
you could do tonight. Go. You say, what is that?
yes,
it's just a joke, Arvee.
So work on your tongue and strengthen it. So by touching your nose, all kinds of crazy things. All right, the next one to strengthen that muscle is voice, strengthening the actual voice. So one of my favorites, and some of you have heard me say this, and one of my favorites is and you can use this one, is baby bye bo boo. So before I speak, I always just go baby bye bo boo, 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 right? Baby bye bo boo, and just say it as many times and fast, and you'll be surprised how that gets your mouth and your tongue and your cheeks and your jaws to all kind of loosen up and work properly for you. And the last one is tongue twisters. How many of you know tongue twisters, like Peter Piper, right? Okay, so I'm going to have Luana go and then Angelique. So give us a tongue twister.
Well, I don't know Peter Piper, but I do know how much wood would a woodchuck chuck was the wood if a wood. Oh, shoot, I just got tongue tied there. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck would? A woodchuck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck would chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Wow, let's give her a big hand.
Very nice.
Oh, that's good.
Awesome. All right, Angelique, what's yours?
All right. Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
Is that
Can
it?
you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah.
That's it. Okay, good. All right.
But not as long as woodchucking. Woodchuck.
Tongue twister.
Seashells so fast.
Anybody else? What about the Peter Piper? Who can do a
I'll
Peter?
do that one.
Okay, go ahead. All right.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Well, what's the rest of it?
Oh, I don't know. A peck of pickled
How many
peppers.
pickled
Peter
peppers?
Piper picked-
I know
What?
it. Dr. Marianne. We got a couple doctors in the house. Dr. Marianne, go ahead.
It's Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. A pack of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers, how many packs of pickled peppers did Peter Piper pick?
Yay!
Very good.
He picked a peck, right? Okay, and one of my favorites from when I was a little girl is Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? All right, good job, everyone. Okay, you never know what's going to happen on these calls. That's what's so exciting about them. All right, let's go back and share my screen. Okay, so we done the tongue twisters. All right, so getting back to the rest of our muscle. If you just joined us, we are spelling muscle. So a workout on the stage again, and you strengthen what? We set our exercises. Your vocal variety is the next one, vocal variety. So vocal variety is where we learn not to just be monotone the whole entire time. That becomes boring. Even if you were exciting and you had such great energy and you operated up here, and I know several of you on this call operate up here, and that's great, but it can get too much for your audience sometimes. So we have to learn to lower it down, talk slower, and then we can speed it up and go high again. So vocal variety, and it's something that for many of you may not come naturally. It may be something that you have to focus on, concentrate on, and even practice during your practice sessions and your rehearsal time. Remember the power of the pause. I mean, I'm not the one that made that up. That has been in Toastmasters. It has been, in other speaker trainings, but there's this power of the pause. And I think one of the people that did it the best was Jim Rohn, right? If you've listened to any of his, he was a real slow talker, but you could hang on every word. And a lot of times he would have that pause, which sometimes seemed forever. But it was to drive home a point and to get you to think and have time to process. But for me, that pause, that brings people in. It's like you're going along and then all of a sudden it's like you stop and they're like, what? And so you get their attention, grab their attention, captivate their attention, even more so than if you had just kept going like a train on a track. So really learn how to create vocal variety. Now, I know Benita with her ventriloquist does two different characters. You might think, well, that's vocal variety. Yes, when you're doing stories and characters, bring that in. So be the little boy, be the voice of the little boy, and then be the voice of the dad. And practice it, have fun with it. You don't have to be perfect. All you have to do is just switch a little bit, a different tone, and people will get that you are doing a dad or you're doing a son or you're doing a little boy or a little girl. All right. So practice that. When you practice, don't start it on stage, but practice when you're actually doing your 15 hours of practice during your sessions, and you'll have it down. So that's just something, again, a muscle that you want to make sure that you work. All right, the next one is constantly speaking. You want to get good. You want to work that muscle, not only that, again, the muscle I'm talking about is the whole speaking muscle, which is physical, it's voice, it's exercise, it's the voice, it's variety, it's, many more things that I haven't even shared with you yet. So it's the whole thing. So you have to do it consistently. You can't dabble in public speaking. It's like trying to dabble in the stock market. You're probably not going to make money and you're probably going to lose. So you have to get all in. You have to be committed, totally committed. So the way you do that is to set goals for how many speaking engagements you're going to do each month, and then backtrack, or I like to say for the year, and then backtrack how many for the month. And you'll be surprised what happens. Now, I speak a lot all the time, but I've never really kept track of it until this year. You know, I have my goals and I go back at the end of the year and I know about what I do, but I never kept track per month. And so this month, here's what we're talking about. Okay, so for January, February, I'm looking over here because I have a wall calendar, which I recommend all of you have. Why don't you have a big quick glance at the year? So I recommend you can get them at Staples. I've had them for my entire business. I love them. I use it not for all my appointments, but I use them for events, seminars I'm going to, and speaking engagement. So I can look over there and I did 74 for the first 3 months. My goal was 175. I did 74, and already this month I've done like 16. So when you keep track, what happened? Okay, yeah, thank you, CJ. So when you keep track, it's like a magnet, and then all of a sudden you'll get more speaking engagements coming to you, and that's what's been happening. So last Thursday, let me stop my share for a minute. So last Thursday, and this is just another lesson. It's not on my word muscle, but this is a bonus. What is it?
Bonus.
Bonus, right. So here I am. I mean, sometimes I have days where I have optional shower days, right? Don't you? Right? Nobody wants to admit it. Come on, people. Come on. Get busy, right? Well, Thursday wasn't it because I needed to wash my hair, but it almost was one of those days because I didn't have any appointments. I didn't have any Zoom calls. It was just one of those hunker down and get the work and the projects done, right? Anybody know those days? You just got to hunker down. You can't be interrupted with people. Okay, so that was one of those days, but I needed to wash my hair anyway, so I did take a shower, did wash my hair, but I didn't put any makeup on or anything like that. And so I'm sitting at my desk, 11 o'clock, I get this phone call on my cell. And it's one of my dear friends who knows everybody in the world. He's a fellow speaker. I've been on his stage. He's been on my stage, blah, 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 blah. Well, his wife has an event that she does once a month. I've spoke at it. It's in San Diego, but they're virtual now. And I've spoken at it for years and years and years. She has all top speakers on, Lisa Nichols, and you know who I'm talking about. CJ knows Women's Wisdom. Okay. CJ knows. CJ's been there because CJ is in San Diego. So I was going to go, and then I thought, no, I got to hunker down, right? I got to hunker down. I don't have any makeup on. So I get this call, and he says, our speaker is sick. Can you fill in? And of course I said, yes, right? And I didn't even have my PowerPoint exactly ready because, you have to tweak it for each event. He wanted me to sell something, blah, blah, blah. So I tweaked it, put on some quick mascara, and within 15 minutes, I was there joining the meeting. So the key is that this muscle has to always be ready. And when you set the goals, they will come to you. When, the speaking engagements will just come, but you've just got to be ready to speak whenever someone calls on you to speak. And it could be like that, a moment's notice. I said, yeah, give me a few minutes. And that was great because they were doing a breakout session, and boom, I had actually more time than I needed to get ready. I had like really an hour to get ready, and I only took like 30 minutes, and then I joined the meeting. Why? Because I know it's important to join the meeting, get to know people, participate before you speak. I'm not fond of speakers showing up to blow off their speech and then they disappear. Right, Corey? You've seen that. I mean, it's like, what? Are you too good to hang out with us? What? Yo, what's going on? So I don't like to do that. So I made sure that I showed up in time and participated in the breakouts. And then I spoke, and then I hung out until it was over. which I recommend all you speakers do. Don't just go and blow your speech. You're missing an opportunity for people to get to know you, for you to mingle, for all kinds of great people that you could meet that you may not meet again. So be ready. So that's one reason to keep that muscle strong, that speaking muscle. So let's go back to the share. All right, so consistent speaking. The next one is we're again working out on strengths. You will strengthen the what? The story part of your muscle. So share stories with others. Now, when I say share stories with others, I'm not talking about sharing your story in your speech. We can do that. We've practiced it. I'm talking about you try on your stories, especially new ones, with your real family audience or client audience. So sometimes I'll be out to lunch or whatever, and now Zoom, and I'll just say, hey, let me share a story. This is what happened to me, blah, 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 blah. And they'll go, ah, and I'll go, that's a good story. I can use it in my speech. I got to laugh. Or they'll have another emotional reaction. I'll tell them, what kind of emotion, what did that bring up for you? Right? I'm analyzing because I want to know so I can use it in my speech. I do it all the time. That's how my camel story came about, because I was telling some guy at lunch, well, not just some guy, a dear friend of mine, some dude, some dude on the corner. No, I was telling a friend of mine, we're out to lunch, and he's like, that's a really great story. And I'm like, it is? And he said, yeah. And, then I started thinking about, we talked about it, analyzed it. I'm like, yeah, that's a story with a lesson. And he's like, yeah, it is. And so that was like 10 years ago, and I've been using it ever since. So that's the power of sharing your stories, your experiences with other people. They can confirm whether or not it's something you want to bring to your speech and your message. Is that $1 million idea? Hello, that's right, millions. Now, I don't want to leave anybody out. So I know a few of you don't have this. So if you want one, so Corey, if you want one, Alice, if you want one, as long as you're not in Canada, just put your address in the chat box, say you want one, and I will mail this to you. So you too can have one, because where people got them was they went to my $1 Million Speaker Summit, right? Which is in September, which people will get another one. But September's a long way away. So if you want one, anybody who wants one that doesn't have one, go ahead and put it in the chat and I will send it to you. Yes. All right. Most of you have one. Luana, do you have one? You were there.
Yes, it's in the other room.
Okay. So now every Tuesday, bring it to your desk because we use it a lot. Okay. Excellent. All right. And if you have another one, like I've had some other ones too, with little hearts or little happy faces, those work too. All right. So let's go back here. So stories, again, share your stories with other people outside your speech and let them help you to develop it. I don't mean per word, but just like the feeling or, something like that. So just have a conversation and really works. I do it all the time and I bring a lot of stories. Okay. Or you can bring it to your mentor. I have a lot of people that tell me their success stories and then I help them to tweak it and just make it even better. All right. So the U is for unwavering practice. You're probably thinking, Arvee, you talk about practice every single week, every single time we come together. And I'm going to say yes, 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 and yes, because it is that important. It is that important for you to practice 1 hour for every 2 minutes of presentation without fail. That's how you become good. Now, I don't know how many of you have ever heard of Tom Antion. Anybody heard of Tom Antion? Okay, so yay, so Tom Antion. So he used to do speaker training years ago. He's a big NSA, kind of an older icon, but he got into internet marketing. So years ago, again, over 17 years ago, I went to he called it butt camp, not boot camp, but butt camp. And he's still around today. He's a multimillionaire. Anyway, and I knew him. He was my mentor, not for speaking, but for internet marketing. But one day he was at an event that I was at, and I was speaking at the event. He was on the main stage. I was in the breakout room at 7:30 a.m. But because he was my mentor in internet marketing, I went to him and I said, Tom, I said, do you have a few minutes? Because we all went to dinner in those days. You went to dinner, right? Not outside, but they had a dinner. So I went to him after the dinner and I said, Tom, I said, do you have a few minutes to listen to my speech? And he said, no, he's got to do his own. And I'm like thinking, you got to do your own, but like you're a professional, you could do it in your sleep. That's what I'm thinking, right? But he knew, and I realized it later on, he was going to do a big sell, right? For back then, $9,000, back then, 20 years ago almost. That, it might have been 100,000 today, right? So he knew that there was so much money riding on it that, he's not going to help me. He's going to focus on what? Practicing that night, even though he's done it a million times. It was his signature talk. I know because I've seen it several times after that. That's what the kind of attitude I want you to have. No matter what, you still need to practice. No matter how well you think you know it, if there's there's either going to be money on the line or people's lives on the line, right? Because you're here to save someone's life, save someone's business, or save someone's soul. So there's lives on the line here. And if you want to change those lives, then you better practice up. Even though you think you don't need to, that's when you need to. That's when you need to. So always practice, unwavering practice, no matter what, over and over and over again. It'll get better and better and better and better and better each time. And you'll be free to let new ideas come, new stories come, new teachings come during the presentation. I've seen Lisa Nichols do this hundreds of times where she'll tell a story and she'll say, I wasn't planning on telling that story, but somebody in the audience needed to hear it. I mean, it just gets you goosies all over. That's the kind of freedom and that's the kind of speaker you want to become. And this is how you do it, by exercising all of these muscles. This whole entire package is your speaker muscle. Next. All right. So unwavering practice. All right. So one of Jean in the class, she was like, I always wondered, Arvee, why you didn't just say 30 minutes per minute instead of saying 1 hour for every 2 minutes. Why don't you just say 30 minutes? So if I said to you 30 minutes, or you have to practice 30 minutes for every 1 hour. Now what happens? How much in a 30-minute talk, how much time? I mean, right, you have to kind of calculate it. But if I said it 1 hour for every 2 minutes, then in a 30-minute talk, what do? You cut it in half. It's easy, 15 minutes. If I said 1 hour for 2 minutes, every 2 minutes in a 60-minute talk, how many hours do you have to practice? 30 hours. I mean, it's an easy cut and dry. So if you haven't figured that out, that's the idea behind it. So you can just go, boom, I know exactly how many hours you have to practice. All right, so enough unwavering. Oops. Oh, all right. The next one, of course, is for your message. I can't even talk about anything to do with speaking without talking about your message. So this one is about massaging your message. Yes, you're going to give your message over and over again, that signature talk, that keynote, whatever it is that you're going to do over and over again. You're going to have that talk all ready to go. And believe me, I've seen the masters of master speakers give their talks and they're the same talk over and over again, from Mark Victor Hansen, to the latest and greatest person. And because they know they perfect it and they turn it into a moneymaker, a game changer, a life changer, and they want to do it over and over again because they have predictable results. Predictable results. They can almost predict in an audience of 20 people, they'll sell 40%. or 20 people, they'll sell 20%, whatever it is, predictable results. So you need to constantly massage your message and make it better. And when I say massage, I'm talking about massage. I'm not talking about throwing it out and starting something brand new, ever. Always start with your base and always make it better and better and massage it and keep watching your audience to make sure that you are having the same effect. Make sure you're getting the laughs in the places that you want them. Make sure that they know some of the fun things. And you might say, well, that sounds kind of rehearsed. Well, it is. But again, remember, the rehearsal will set you free, because then you can bring in new stuff as it happens. If a plane flies by, you can stop and say, whoa, I wonder where they're going, without it throwing you off. All right, so massage your message, always make it better and better, enunciate better, sell better, tell better stories, learn how to do characters. I always recommend theater and improv classes for all my speaker students. If ever you can find one of those classes and take it, take it. It'll just strengthen your stage presence and just make you better and better and better. So those are how all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ways that you can build your speaking muscle. All right. So what you don't know, we're almost done and I'm going to open it up, but I want to take this opportunity to share a little bit. And I don't usually sell on these classes. I don't. They're already for you, but there is something coming up that if you didn't know about it, I would be hearing about it. So I just want to quickly go through it, and it's your choice if you want to join us. I have about 5 people here joining me. I've got 3 spots left. And so if you want to join me, let me just share it with you real quick. So most people really don't know how to do virtual speaking. They just don't know how to do it right. They don't know how to do lives correctly. They don't get them money, so it ruins their reputation, costs them time, and costs them, of course, money. So I want to help you with that. So if you're ready to just become a better speaker and step on that virtual stage, and a lot of you have been on the virtual stage already. I know for a long time, I know Dr. Renee has, Dr. Marianne has, but there's always room to get better. So better with the technology and better with the speaking itself. So I want to talk about advanced virtual presentation mastery. Now, this is a class that some of you already have taken about 6 months ago. Virginia took it. Dr. Renee took it. I don't remember if Dr. Marianne took it, but let me just share what it is. So I wasn't going to do it. And actually you can thank Cheryl Green here because she needed this. And it was like, well, I teach that. So she needed it. So so I brought it back. I'm bringing it back. But I have taught it several times this past year, but I wasn't planning on necessarily doing it again. Okay, until she requested it. So what is it? So you're going to get a Facebook Live mastery class. And if you're doing Facebook Lives, great. I'm going to teach you one of my formulas just for Facebook Live that you can actually use to make money and profits. So if you're not doing that, then this is a class for you. And I teach this class separately. All these classes are separate, but I'm bundling them all together for you. All right. So Facebook Live, 2.5 hour training.
Is everybody wondering
how what? Is somebody yakking? All right. So yeah, CJ, just make sure everybody's on mute, and we'll mute. We'll mute a couple of people here. Okay, and then I'll get you all unmuted in a minute. All right, so Zoom Mastery Training Masterclass. And again, we've all been on Zoom for over a year. I've been on Zoom since 2015, since it came out. I stay close to, keep my head close to the ground for any nuances and changes. Because again, we have to master this, especially if you're going to run your own events and you're going to run your own speaking events. You've got to master this. Just coming to an event, having someone else do it all the time, that's not going to get you money and advance you in the virtual speaking arena. And again, don't think anytime soon. We're all, things are opening up. Well, guess what? They're opening up some places, but virtual speaking is going to be around forever. All right. We don't expect 100 people events, live events for speaking events until about 2023. All right. There'll be smaller ones, but the 200, 300, the Tony Robbins, no, they will be virtual for a while. So you've got to master this. And then, of course, you got to put on your own events. So I'm going to give you a formula, a virtual event creation formula, where you're going to know how to put on your own event. And you're going to come out of there with your event all scheduled and ready to go. All right. And then advanced virtual presentation training. So 6, 7, 8.5 hours altogether. It's going to be for the not next Saturday, but then the 3 Saturdays after that, from 10 o'clock to 12:30. So you get up in the morning, have your breakfast. And what else are you going to do on a Saturday morning, right? Work out. Hello. You can work out your speaking muscle. All right. Work out your speaking muscle. You can even, well, I don't recommend doing this on the treadmill because, again, this is a hands-on class. We're going to start with Zoom, and we're going to get into the back end of your system and make sure that it's set up right for you. Make sure you know exactly where it's going. I had people the other day that said, well, where's the Zoom recordings and the chats going? She had chats for months and she didn't even know how to go and get them, right? So I can guarantee you there's things you don't know. All right, so who is it for all of you, but anyone who wants to master virtual stages, be a better leader and presenter, make more money, help more people. I have the sensitive mouse like you won't believe. Help more people, and of course, make a difference virtually. Luan is coming. Several of you are coming already. All right, so you're going to master Zoom's functionality and run your own meetings like a professional. We're going to put CJ out of business a little bit. Sorry, CJ. Display an environment that screams success and speak confidently. Turn your beauty fire on so you look gorgeous, darling. There is a secret behind the filters. Use hidden features that most people don't even know exist in Zoom. And of course, take charge of your meetings and lead your participants to take action. Use audience participation to create exciting meetings, not just breakouts and some of those things, but there's a lot more you can be doing. I've been studying this for the past year. And create your own virtual events, webinars, and meetings, and get on other people's virtual stages. That's what you want to do. Get on other people's virtual stages. I am going to teach you how to do that. And then the behind the scenes stuff so that you can look like a pro. And we're going to do Facebook Lives, and you're going to get coached personally by me. So that's what it is. Now, each class is $197. I have websites for each one of them. If you were to go and get them separately, that's what it'll be. I bundled these all together for my people here only. This is only for you and people that went to my Create Your Speech in Weekend. So don't think that this is advertised or you're going to get an email, because you're not. All right. This is only for you because you're my students, because you're in my community. So, and this is like one time, I don't know if I'm ever going to do this again. I'm only doing it because Cheryl and some of the other people in Create Your Speech in a Weekend asked me to do it. All right. So try the class, at least one of them. If it's not everything and more, then you have a full refund. All right. All right. So again, I'm going to give you today's discount, $394, making the whole 3 classes only $197. Here's the link. CJ, go ahead and put that link. It is case sensitive. Put it in the chat box. What you're going to see when you go to that link is you're just going to see an Infusionsoft page, because I'm not setting up a website. This is only like a one-time deal just for you, because you are special. because you're very special. All right, so go ahead and do that. And again, I'm only going to have a class of 8. I already have 5 people signed up. That means I have 3 spots left. So go ahead and sign up for them now. After it's full, it's full. Anybody else, would have to go to another date. Okay, I'm done with that. It's in the chat. We are going to stop the share. Again, take advantage of this because I don't know if I'm doing it again. I wasn't planning on doing it, but because of Cheryl, where did Cheryl go? Cheryl disappeared, Cheryl Green.
And before it can be licensed.
Okay, so, well, hello, Joyce, welcome. Welcome. All right, so go ahead and take advantage. There, Cheryl said something in there, but she disappeared. Okay, so we're going to quick open up the call. We have about 16, so we only have 30 seconds each this time. So you can ask me a quick question about the content, anything about the muscle. You can make a comment about the content tonight, or just you can quickly say if you're speaking somewhere. Now, remember, all of our big conversations are done in the Facebook group. So if you want to meet somebody here, it goes into the Facebook group, not in here, not in the chat. All right. The chat is only for CJ and I to give you, whatever you need. So
Arvee, can I ask you a quick question? It's Dr. Renee. Is that okay directly to you? Is that
yes. Okay. A quick question and then we'll go.
real quick? Okay. You said you have a calendar on the wall. Okay.
Yes.
For all your speeches at the end of the year or this beginning of December, what do you do with that big calendar? Do you throw it away or do you keep it for resource later on and put it into the attic or something like that? So that's my question. And what do you do with do you have a real day timer like a Franklin Covey? What do you do with that? Do you archive them? That's my question. Okay, I'm complete. Thanks.
Okay, good. Good. The answer is I keep my wall calendar. I still have my other one behind my red cabinet from last year in case I want to reference it. All right. I don't know why, but I have it all on Google, but there's just something that happens to me chemically when I look at the whole year, right? It's like mapping out the year. So I do keep mine at least for a year. So then when I get the next one in December, so I start in December, then I'll throw this one away and keep this one. So as far as the speaking engagements, I track them, but I add them up at the end of each week. Then I add all the weeks together for the end of the month. And then I add the months together to have it like every quarter so that I'm not going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the end of the year. No, I want to know as I go. That's why I can look at it and go, I did 74 for the first 3 months of this year. Boom, right? So that works for me. Maybe there's some other way to work for other people. The other calendar I have is a Google Calendar. I have 2 monitors and I always have it up on my second monitor so I can quick look. But that's usually just a week at a time. Because when I do a month, it's like little dots and it makes me crazy. So, but that's my day-to-day coaching and all that. But this is my event and speaking calendar. And networking goes there as well. Okay, thanks, Dr. Renee. Did she leave? Oh, there you are. Okay, thank you. Somebody turned off and left, and then it moved everything around. Okay, so real quick, less than 30 seconds. Well, hello, Margaret. It's so nice to have you back. I missed you.
Hi, yes, I'm sorry. I work for a client in Los Gatos, which is about an hour away. And I work as a private chef. And some days I just have to, I have to finish something. And
Margaret, if you live near me, I would hire you to be my private chef in a minute, right? Right? Absolutely. Dr. Renee is also a chef, and so is her husband. But I don't think you do private chefing now, right? But now she does. She's the love doctor. Helps you find the love. But she's also a chef. So
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I went to a school in Cordon Bleu in Paris.
Yeah. So you two should get together and compare notes or recipes. Yes, Doctor. Yes, Alice.
Yeah, I'm a chef too. Trained.
I can't believe it. So many chefs. We got to have a big event. Now, Alice is remind me where you are.
In Brooklyn.
That's right, New York. And Margaret, you're in?
San Francisco Bay Area.
San Francisco, and Dr. Renee's in Beverly Hills. So none of you are close enough for hire, but you should get together and change them. All right, we're going to go just real quick, a few minutes, and then if you want to stay and talk to me, you can. But anybody that has to go, I get that. So Corey, in 30 seconds, any comments, questions that you might have?
No, I appreciate it. There was good tips today, things I can practice while out there working in the garden. So those are good movement techniques, a lot of those, like the muscles and stuff like that.
Yeah. And remember that this is recorded. It'll be up on the passionately-speaking.com site tomorrow morning after 10. And I'm also putting them on YouTube and putting the link in Passionately Speaking. That just takes me a couple more days. All right. CJ, real quick, anything you want to share?
Nothing new from me. Speaking, leading a networking event twice a week continuously, and then speaking at other events where I can. So following the formula, sticking to the plan.
I love it.
Oh, and my own show that I'm doing weekly. That's my Facebook Lives. So I'm doing that too.
So do you post those Facebook Lives? Do you post them to the Passionately Speaking, like share them?
I don't always, because I don't want to totally dominate that whole wall with just me. But if some other folks will get in there and start sharing their stuff, I certainly will as well.
Yeah, please do. Go to the Facebook group. We're active there. I'm active there. CJ's active there. But that's where you're going to find all kinds of great information. Like CJ will put the muscle content. If you missed something from the notes, he always puts it in there for you. Again, just from the kindness of his heart. So, you can always go and get it. So start, commenting. All right, Ardina.
Okay, good evening, everyone. This is all good information, especially since we just finished the 2-day weekend. This was like a refresher. I think what stood out for me was the M for massage my message, because as I'm practicing, I already started practicing, and I'm seeing some things to, like you said, take out, and then some new things are starting to come, but I'm sticking to the basics, like you said.
Awesome. Great job. Janine.
I'll pass.
Okay. All right. Margaret.
What's the question?
Well, do you have any questions or comments? Real short.
Well, I would like to see, the couple meetings that I missed, see them on, watch them online.
Okay. They're all on passionatelyspeaking.com. Passionately Speaking, that is the audio, and the videos are on YouTube. So I don't have those links right now, but just email me, Margaret, and I'll get those links and send them to you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. Yeah.
Some of them are in the Passionately Speaking, but some of them aren't. Okay, but all the recordings are up on Passionately Speaking, but they're audio. All right, thanks, Margaret, for that. All right. Oh, you guys keep moving around, so I can't keep track of you. All right, Joyce, you came in. Any comments? You missed a great weekend. We're sorry that you weren't there.
Yeah, another time though, for sure.
July, next one. July.
Yeah. Yes, sounds good. Yeah, I thought you had a lot of really great points. I have no speaking engagements at the time. I am going to be doing a couple group retreats, and one's going to be on Zoom and one's going to be in person. So I definitely can use my speaking skills for those. And I'm going to be practicing and continuing to learn from you. So thank you for doing this.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you for being here in the community. All right, Jason.
Arvee, I'm great. Once again, you've reinforced sharing stories with others. So I'm in the process right now of really recreating my personal story, making it a little more vivid and taking some of the notes that you've shared on other calls in your training. So I think the story is going to be more profound, even more as profound as before. So I'm looking forward to presenting that. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Dr. Marianne, you haven't been here for a while, so welcome.
Hi. Enjoyed as always. I do have a question.
Okay.
So I use the acronym GENIUS, and I go through GENIUS. U stands for unique. How do you catch a rabbit? Unique up on them.
Ah!
I don't know if I should share that joke or not tomorrow because it's on my mind, but I'm not really a joker.
Yes, you should, because everybody can use a good laugh.
Okay.
Absolutely. You got me though, girl. You got me. I'm like, huh?
Okay.
Okay, good one. Thanks, Dr. Marianne. And you got my message really.
I did. I understand. Yeah.
Okay, great. Excellent. All right, let's go. Angelique is home. Yay.
I'm home. Yes, I thought that it was very interesting that the gentleman that you spoke of, I can't remember his name, but that he was still practicing, even though he was professional.
Antion, yes.
Tom Antion. Okay, yes,
Oh,
that tells me a
That's
lot. That tells
Tom
me,
Antion. Tom Antion.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's, isn't that what I said? Tom Antion.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just puts things into perspective for me. And I thought, oh, I know my speech now. I'm good, because I did 96 hours of practice. Nope, keep going. So there you go.
Refresh it, massage it. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. All right, Alice, and then Luana.
I have nothing to add. You're very clear.
Okay, beautiful. All right, great glasses. Are those new? Are those the ones you had this weekend? They look different.
I have a few.
Okay, well, those are cool.
Thank you.
Very cool. All right, Luana. You're muted. Okay.
Sorry about that. I thought you had some great tips today, and I was just looking over to see which one stuck out the most. And I think for me, strengthening the stories is a good one that I really need to work on. But I'd also like to know what that formula is for the Facebook.
Okay, well,
that's my challenge.
Yeah, you're going to learn it because you're coming into class. You're already signed up. So Luana's already coming. Who else is here that's already coming? I know Virginia already went. Okay, well, anyway. Okay. Grab the opportunity, though, if you want to go. Alice is coming. Yeah, Alice is coming. All right, so let's go down. We got Clemmy left and we got Benita. So Benita, go ahead.
I'm speaking for 20 minutes Saturday at 11 Pacific. I can put that in the thing. And also, your rehearsal. I mean, when I do my little video things, I just have an idea and I sort of riff, but that's not a paid speech. So
I'm not expecting paid speeches. Most of the time, yeah, we're all doing free.
Well, what I mean is my ventriloquism videos, I don't rehearse. I just have an idea and I just kind of.
Well, just see how great you would be if you rehearsed. Right? I'm sure that the guy, that famous guy that does, all those. Yeah, he practices.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, so I would recommend it. All right, Clemmy, are you with us? I'm not sure.
I am here. I have not left. I'm just pampering my poor back.
Okay.
So I really love that bit about the stories. In fact, when I'm trying to just make a point, I end up telling stories because it's my natural wiring, because I'm always trying to fill in the back information.
Right.
So my thing is corralling the stories is what I'm looking for. And I actually signed up, somebody did an interview and I really liked it. And so I'm signed up to learn more about stories other than the hero's journey. I'm very curious as to what that will be. It doesn't start for a while, but that my question is on your class coming up. So I have something on that day that's already, but is that a one-day class? Is it a few days? Is it one long day? How is that?
No. It's 3 Saturdays from.
Okay, and it starts on that day.
10 a.m. to 12:30.
So what is the first day? Because the first day is the day I have a conflict, and I'm happy to pass on the Facebook component.
April 24th, and it'll be the Zoom class, and it will be recorded.
Okay. All right, because that's the Zoom class is what I need the most. The Facebook I don't do anyway. So all right, I'll figure that out.
Okay, think about it. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time you did step up to Facebook and some other live stream. So, okay. Well, before everybody goes, Marsha's last. I know Marsha's been in waiting patiently. Marsha, are you there with us? Marsha.
I'm here. Yes, I'm here. Just listening today.
All right. All right. Well, good to have you. All right, everyone. If there's, Virginia, did you go? I'm sorry, you snooped up to the beginning. Virginia?
Yeah, hi. I just have a quick question. I'm not sure I understand the difference between the massage your message and unwavering practice. Isn't it kind of the same?
No, massaging, but that's a good question. Massaging your message means sometimes you're going to tweak your story a little.
Tweak.
You know, you might add a different story because it's a different audience and they'll resonate with a story, different story, a success story or something like that. Maybe massaging the words that you use, maybe again for the audience. Unwavering practice just means you bunkering down and practicing, even when you think you already know it. Right?
Okay.
That's the worst time. When you think you know it and you don't have to practice, that's exactly when you have to practice. So I want you to, if you go, I'm good. You're not good. And it doesn't mean you have to practice the whole 30 hours again. It just means maybe you practice an hour, just kind of, and then maybe there might be some massaging as you practice. Yeah, good question.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been my pleasure to serve you today. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you back here next week for another good one. In the meantime, get out and speak. And when you do speak, always remember to speak with passion. Mwah. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Arvee.
Thank you, Arvee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy your